Hello. So you have completed your company and venue configuration. Congratulations. And now we're moving on to phase two of your Sonas setup, the Sonas sales process. So I'm going to give you a quick overview of that process in this video, and then you'll be followed up with subsequent setup videos step by step to work your way through. So the Sonas sales process is everything from that initial inquiry through date on hold. So as you go through this setup, you're going to be working your way through your forms. So the Sun is powered forms that you're going to be placing on your website, your email templates, managing your viewings, and how you're going to go date on hold. A big step of the next process will also be migrating your existing bookings over into Sunnis. Now, before you get started on setting up your sales process, I really encourage you to take a moment and be crystal clear on what your sales process is. And this can present a challenge sometimes, because especially if you're in a situation where you're not currently utilizing a system, each team member may have their own kind of version of the sales process. And we're really encouraging you to take all of those thoughts and put together a workflow that everyone's going to be working from, putting everyone on the same page of the book. And that can present a challenge sometimes, but this is also an opportunity to fine tune how you are communicating with your customers, to fine tune what that process is, to really define what that journey is when somebody inquires to your venue. So take a few minutes to lay out what that sales journey is. And what I mean by that is, okay, how do people instigate communication with us? How do they submit their initial inquiry? Is it through forms on the website? Great. On those forms on the website, do we want one form, or do we want different forms for different event types? So maybe on the wedding section of our website, we have a wedding inquiry form. Well, there's another other event form on our special events section of our website. Or is it just one generic contact us form? On those initial inquiry forms, are we presenting them as initial inquiry forms? Or are we tweaking the wording to make it more like a request a brochure form? And maybe asking a little less information from the customer to try to get them involved. So thinking that through. Also, how else will people be reaching out to you? Direct emails. Do you use any directories? If so, which directories are you going to be utilizing? And will you be utilizing those in Sunnis? And then once they have instigated an inquiry, what are your next steps? So let's say I submit a form. You can have an automatic reply on that. If you don't hear back from me, when do you send your first follow-up? Do you do a second follow-up? Or what's your nurture sequence? How many emails do you send before you go, oh, she's ghosted us? And then what do each of those emails say? And we'll talk about that more in the templates email or templates video, excuse me. So you're going to go through what that process looks like, what it sounds like, what's your voice on those emails. So being really clear as to what those steps are, and they can be different for a wedding than they are for corporate, than they are for a wake, etc. So be clear on your journey, and everyone's journey is different. We're not going to try to pigeonhole you into this is how you manage sales. No, you still bring in your uniqueness to that process, sharing your brand, sharing your voice, so the customer can experience what you can offer as a unique option for their special day. So be really clear on that. You will probably need to link in or bring in your web team at some point to place the code if you're using the Sonas forms. The video will walk you through how to do that. And we'll go ahead and get started. So as with the last setup chapter or phase, you want to go through in order. They are building blocks, and we'll see you at the other end.